We are now live. Hi, is anyone out there? If you're out there, can you shoot me a hi in the chat or a thumbs up or a wave or something? Yay. Hi, everyone. See a few people saying hi. Awesome. Let's give like 30 more seconds just in case anybody else wants to hop in. But thank you, everyone who is joining me today for this talk about mind-body connection and why it's critical to your well-being and the health of your microschool. I'm really excited to have this chat with you. My name's Dee. Well, it says Deanne, but most people call me Dee. I am a mentor coach for Prenda, as well as a intervention specialist on the resolution team. And I've been with Prenda for, let's see, I think about 7 months now, and just love everything about it. So I'm really happy to be here today and to share this talk with you, and I hope that it's helpful to you. And my co-host is Jen Van Atta. You can't see her right now, but when I start sharing my screen to show you the presentation, I won't be able to see the chat anymore, but Jen will. So if at any point you have any questions or comments, please throw them in the chat, and we will address them, or we might save them till the end. We'll kind of see how that goes. All right, so once I start sharing my screen, I won't be able to see your chat. So I'm going to start sharing now, but like I said, Jen's on it. All right, so let me get started here. Okay, I hope everyone can see that. And Jen, please pipe in here if for some reason we can't. All right, so our mind and body connection, why taking care of yourself is critical to your health and the health of your microschool. So let's get started. Okay, when you hear the phrase self-care, what emotions do you feel inside? I know that some people, when I mention the term self-care, I get different reactions from people. So I'm interested to hear what you all have to say. So please feel free to throw your emotion when you hear that term in the chat, and then Jen's going to tell me what you guys are saying. So let me know what feelings stir inside you when you hear that term self-care. And I'll wait about 30 seconds. Just throw them in there.
Okay, I'm seeing angst, anxious, anxiety. Anything else? One Brittany Blackburn says, like, I'm going to get a spa day, but never, because who has time?
Common theme. I've heard that a few times today. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for sharing those feelings with us today.
Taylor said she feels peace.
Ah.
I like that.
Like that too. That's what we're going for. Peace.
Taylor wins.
Taylor wins. Of course, no one's emotions are wrong. You feel what you need to feel when you hear that term. But I hope that by the end of today, maybe you'll feel a little bit differently, or even better about that word and what it means to you. So thank you for your thoughts. These are other words I've heard from just different people throughout my life when they hear the term. I myself used to feel exactly the same way. Who in the world has time to take care of themselves? I work and I'm a mom and I'm a wife and there's not enough hours in the day to take care of myself. And some of these are some words that I've heard. It makes me uncomfortable, confused because I don't even know what exactly that means or what that looks like. I have definitely heard some people say self-indulgent, that it's not okay to put yourself first. Heard that a lot. I don't know if anybody else has heard that before. There's a lot of different emotions around that term, and I think it's kind of gotten a bad reputation. So let's dive in a little bit into the definition of self-care and see if we can get a little bit more clarity around that. Jen, are we still having a lag on the slides when I change them, or can you see them as I change them?
I can see them as you change them. This one says, let's define the term self-care.
Perfect. Okay, yesterday we were having a lag, so I'm glad that today we're good. Okay, so we're going to define the term self-care and see if we can gain a little more clarity. So the term self-care was first defined in 1946, that was a long time ago, as the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. And so since then, the definition has changed a little bit, and now the concept of taking care of oneself has actually been added into the National Library of Medicine, which is huge, and it's now it's defined then as caring for yourself when you're ill, or positive actions and adopting behaviors to prevent illness. And that is the key where we're going to focus on a little bit more today is the prevention of illness. And then today it's defined as, we don't need anyone's permission to take care of ourselves. We don't, sometimes we wait for our doctor to say, you need to do the X, Y, and Z to improve your health. And so we want you all to have some autonomy in that and protect your well-being and your happiness and your health, in particular during periods and times of stress that you might be experiencing. Okay, so let's move on a little bit here. All right, so if you've never consciously focused on yourself and what self-care can look like to you, maybe that's difficult to know how to do it, where to start, or even why you might need to take care of yourself. And I feel like you're here today because maybe you suspect that you need to spend a little bit more time on yourself to take better care of yourself. So I'm going to start here and why we need to do that. So if you look at the picture on the right, you're going to see a photo of an empty teacup that's kind of sad and on its side. I'll just read through that top part there. And it says, when we pour from our cup every time we attend to someone or something else, if we don't take time to refill that cup, it will eventually dry up. Attempting to continue to pour from an empty cup will most likely lead to certain unpleasantries like stress, anxiety, illness, exhaustion, imbalance, or any other number of emotions or states. So taking time to refill your cup or to take care of yourself, or even better, not allowing it to run dry would be better, but it's crucial to your health and well-being. So you look at the picture on the left, and we've got some self-care going on, and that cup is overflowing, and there's all kinds of goodness there. So when your cup is full and overflowing, you might experience feelings of feeling rested, confident, relaxed. You might feel more patient, less stressed. You're able to give of yourself, more of yourself to your students, your family, and your friends with greater ease. Attending to your needs with personal wellness strategies or self-care will help you achieve this state of my cup runneth over. And that's what we're going for here, so that you'll always have something in your cup to give to others, especially the important people in your life. And remember, you are one of those people. Okay, so now we're going to take a moment to look at different types of self-care or personal wellness strategies. All right, So I was doing a little research on self-care before giving this presentation, and I found this in Psychology Today magazine, that there are 7 identified types of self-care personal wellness strategies. And I would like for you to take a moment also to look at the word personal wellness and see if that evokes different emotions in you that maybe self-care doesn't. I think, like I said, self-care sometimes gets a bad reputation, but we're talking about your personal wellness here when we're talking about self-care. And so here are the 7 types. And the goal here today is for us to find which of these, maybe they don't all apply to you, maybe only 1 or 2, maybe they all apply to you, and you want to find ways to incorporate these into your life and into your world. So the 7 types are social, emotional, physical, financial, professional or intellectual, sensorial, spiritual, and pleasurable. So just kind of take a minute if you want to screenshot that or take a picture of this so that you can be reminded of what the 7 types are, and then we'll kind of go into in just a sec different ways to address those. And earlier today we heard Emily and Jody both talk about how important it is for us to set those goals. But a more important step to setting the goal is also creating those pathways and how you're going to get there. So if you're looking at these 7 types of self-care right now and you're thinking, okay, spiritual, physical, and social emotional, I want to focus on those 3 right now. And you're going to set those aside, and I want a goal to achieve some self-care in those 3 areas. But the next step is really important, is setting the pathways. How am I going to get to those 3? So, so you're going to figure out which ones are for you, and then we're going to set the pathways. Before we set those pathways, so I want to remind you all that your personal wellness journey is going to look different from mine and from anybody else's. So, and again, another common theme we've heard Jody talk about earlier today was not to compare yourself or your journey to anyone else's, because your journey is yours. So whichever strategies you decide upon are speaking to you, and they're yours. So you don't need to have the same journey that I have or anyone else. So keep that in mind when you're considering your journeys. So I don't know if you're all are familiar with Canva, but I found this little mind map on canva.com and created my wellness action plan here. So I picked 4 personal wellness strategies that I wanted to try to incorporate into my week this week. And the ones that spoke to me were my emotional journey, intellectual, spiritual, and physical. And then I also identified how I was going to get there. And I wrote those things down. And the ones I wanted to point out for me for spiritual journey, I put get outside every day. And I live in Flagstaff, and we have about 3 or more feet of snow outside. And I just, for me to get outside and breathe that cold air and touch that cold snow, that's important to me, and it brings peace to me. So that's one quick short way that I can bring some joy and wellness into my life, is by doing that. And you can see, as you're looking at my little wellness map here, that some of mine might take a little bit more time, and some of them are quick, easy, short things to do that will bring me little moments, little periods of joyfulness and wellness. And so again, whatever those are for you are going to be different than mine, or maybe some of them will be the same, but I wanted to include some ideas for you so that you can think about them and ponder them and see which ones are going to work, or of course, create your own. Another one that I'd like to point out in my emotional wheel over there is crying and laughing. Those are emotional releases for me, and I actually cry a lot. Some people are not criers, and sometimes when I cry, it makes people uncomfortable. But I don't know, it's a good release for me. So not that I try to make myself cry, but sometimes when I get frustrated or angry, or sometimes I just feel something inside me that needs to come out. And so even watching a part of a movie that brings tears to my eyes and helps me cry and get that out, that's a good self-care for me. And also eating chocolate is important to my emotional wellness. So don't need to eat it every day, and I certainly don't need to indulge in eating the entire cake, but I'm going to say that a couple times this week I'm gonna have some chocolate to bring some joy to my life. And then of course they can be bigger. I think somebody in the beginning in the chat said something like the spa day. And if that is self-care for you, I hope that you can find a way to do that, and maybe committing to taking one day a month to go and do that. Get your nails done, get a facial, get a massage. These are all important to your health and to your wellness. And it's been proven, and there's actually studies about that having somebody else take care of you feels good, and it's good for your health. Finding the time, I know that's always an issue. And I told the story in my last session, so I'm going to tell you guys too that something that brought me some peace when my children were small was when my husband would come home from work during the school week, and we'd get all the little ones to bed, and then I would take half an hour or so, and I'd clip my coupons and I'd put them all in my purse. And I would go spend like an hour or so at the grocery store because it was quiet, and no one was screaming or asking for this or that or the other thing. And I'd push the cart and I'd walk up and down all the aisles, and that was peaceful, and that was a little bit of self-care for me, to just kind of reset. And sometimes I would even put my headphones in and just listen to music as I roamed up and down the aisles a little bit and got that in. So got something done that I needed to get done, which was grocery shopping, but also it was just a little bit of time for me. And so however you can squeeze in your personal wellness, again, it's going to look different for everybody, but please take time to find ways to do that. And again, if you have any questions about any of this, please put them in the chat, and Jen will alert me. Okay, so now you might be asking yourself, what does self-care and personal wellness have to do with the health of my microschool? And again, if this was interactive, I would love to hear your input on that, or what your thoughts might be. But I'm sure at this point you're maybe starting to formulate some ideas of why taking care of yourself is crucial, not just to the health of your microschool, but also maybe to your home life and to your family. So let's look at what that could entail. So another common theme we're hearing about in PrendaCon this year, or this month, is the self-driven child. And I took a quote from his book about this topic, and chapter 10, I think it is, Mind and Body Connection. And his quote was, "We want our children and our students to learn how to deal successfully with stressful situations, to have a high stress tolerance. This is how they develop resilience." And how this applies to self-care is it's important for them too, and they need to find ways to calm themselves or to work through stressful situations. And what better way to do that than for them to have their own self-care strategies. And by watching you adopt and model self-care and personal wellness strategies daily in your microschool for your students will empower them to discover their own wellness path. And maybe you can even share that mind map that I shared earlier, or find something similar. I used to just write them down in a, what do you call them, those little composition books that you can buy at Walmart for 50 cents, and get a few of those and just turn it into a journal. And my mind map was a week long, but I mean, you can even have yours daily. What am I going to do today to look out for myself? And maybe it's just one thing for 5 minutes. And a suggestion for that is, I was really contemplating what a sensorial self-care could look like. And In the book, in that same chapter, chapter 10 of The Self-Driven Child, the author talks about how important it is for radical calm, radical downtime. And those moments before you fall asleep, how crucial those are to getting a good sleep, and how important it is to relax your mind and your body at least once a day. And that seems like a good time to do it. But maybe you can incorporate that into your microschool day. If you see the kids just getting stressed out about their computer programs not working, or they're not able to build their Create project the way they want, is to just take a few moments, put everything down, lay everybody down on the floor, and have a moment of just mindful meditation where you can walk them through a meditation, a guided meditation, and just have them lie still, completely still, and teach ourselves how to calm our mind so that we can refocus, and just thank their bodies for being strong today. Thank their brains for working for them today. Let's thank our fingers for the work they're doing for us today. And then and just breathe deeply, and getting that extra oxygen in there will help their brains to kind of reset and be ready to try again, whatever it was that they were struggling with. And doing this for yourself, maybe each morning before your microschool starts, because your calm will be contagious, just as your anxiety or your stress is contagious. You're not taking care of yourself, and you start your day stressed because you burned the toast and the coffee spilled and the dog threw up on the carpet, all of those things, and then your kids start walking in the door. They're going to feel your stress too. So even just those few moments of intentional breathing and calmness to start your day will completely change the way your day goes in school. Okay, and then my last slide here are how are other ways that I can encourage personal wellness or self-care in my microschool, and touched on a couple of them in the last slide, but just another reminder to be a non-anxious presence in your microschool every day. Make enjoying your students daily a top priority, and to remember to just connect with them. Ask them how their day was. Ask them if they had any fun dreams, or anything. Just connecting with them and enjoying them as people is a self-care and wellness for both of you. Committing to your own wellness management, finding ways again to make you are important, and to find ways to do that so that you can be there for other people. You just can't pour from that empty cup. Adopting an attitude of non-judgmental acceptance, another great one. And then touched on that in the last slide a little bit, is providing those opportunities to practice self-care and wellness during your microschool day. Again, for not just for your students, but also for you. You're worth it. And I think that Jody talked about earlier today how she looks herself in the mirror and tells herself what she did really well that day and how proud she is of herself. And then, maybe you had not such a great day, and that's okay too. We're human. Things are going to happen. We're going to lose our tempers, or we're going to lose our cool, and that's okay. But just taking those few moments to reflect, how can I be 1% better tomorrow? And that includes in your self-care journey. What can I do better tomorrow that I didn't do today to take care of myself, so that I can pour from that full teacup every day, and taking time to find those ways to do that, because you are worth it. You're important, and I'm just so happy that you're here, and I'm excited for you to start a journey. And I hope that this talk today inspires you to do that, and that you're able to find ways to incorporate it into your life every day. It's important. I'm going to stop sharing now. And if anybody has any questions or comments, I would love to hear them.
Dee Taylor made a really good point. She said, if I feel calm and emotionally fulfilled at the beginning of my Prenda day, it is a 100% difference.
That is a wonderful observation, Taylor. Thank you for sharing that. I think that was kind of what I was trying to get at earlier also. And yeah, that intentional calm at the beginning of your day, no matter what happens, can make 100% difference. Thanks for sharing that. And if you want to type in like how do you get there, Taylor? How do you find those? How do you get yourself to that calm, peaceful feeling before you start your day? Or if anybody else has any suggestions, love to hear them. And while we're waiting for anybody to answer, I'm going to go to Brittany's comment earlier where she said self-care sounds like she's going to get a spa day, but doesn't ever get one because who has time? I think you can always ask for one, Brittany, for Mother's Day, for your birthday, or just because you're your mom and you deserve it. Oh, getting a full night's sleep the night before. That's great. Yes. And I know some of us have small young children and that's not always possible, but if you can, it definitely helps. Planning out your day the night before school starts, absolutely. Very good goal. Have your day ready to roll before it starts. These are great tips, everyone. All right. I'll leave the broadcast on for a little bit longer if you need to hop out. This concludes PrendaCon for today. But thank you all so much for showing up today and being here, and we're just so grateful for all of you. And oh wait, Brittany has one more comment. You do deserve it. It takes discipline to schedule your self-time. It does, but hopefully it will become easier for you as you work it into your day and make it a habit. And I hope that all of you are able to find that time and get there, because you do deserve it just as much as your kids deserve it, your students, your husband, everyone in your life. Everybody deserves some time for themselves to feel good. Oh, excellent, Taylor. Thank you. Yes. What makes you feel special? What makes you feel peaceful? What makes you feel, or whatever brings you that joyful feeling in your soul? That's what we're looking for. Thank you again, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday and weekend, and that you start out Monday all refreshed and ready to tackle the rest of the school year. Thank you for coming.